Okay, I'd like to call the Plan Commission meeting to order for Wednesday, November sixth, 2024. Roll call, please.
President Kradowski,
Here.
Trustee Paul,
Here.
Trustee Krieger,
Here.
Member Allen,
Present.
Please stand for the pledge. And please keep the men and women throughout the world in uniform in your thoughts. Okay, don't have any changes to the agenda. I need a motion to approve.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. Number 5, action on the minutes from the October 1st, 2024 Plan Commission meeting.
Move to approve if there's no additions or corrections.
Second. One change. 7B did not pull out NFL draft. It is the draft. It is the draft village comprehensive planning, so just pull the draft part out of the NFL part out and we're all set.
Yeah, that was my typo.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to approve with that change. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carried. Number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda, must state name and address. You're limited to 5 minutes. The board's role is to listen and not discuss the item. Personnel issues cannot be discussed nor individuals named, and the board is not able to take action at this meeting. Is there anybody here or online that would like to say anything about items not on tonight's agenda? Anybody who'd like to say anything about items not on tonight's agenda? I would just like to make one comment. I just wanted to praise our clerk's office, our public safety, our public works department, all the staff for doing an outstanding job. It was busy everywhere in the village, and they just did an outstanding job with all of the extra registrations and the amount of voting. So, did a great job. Anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, seeing you're complimenting people, let me compliment the Public Works Department. I just happen to live, or not live, but I represent the 3rd and 4th Ward, which happens to be the Stadium District, which happens to be a large parking area for cars during an event or as Sunday was a game. They picked up all the leaves on Saturday, which was really nice because now we got wide streets again rather than people putting leaves on the road where they do not belong. They belong on the terraced way. But anyway, I want to thank the Public Works Department for taking care of that because sure cleaned up things well.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments? Hearing none, we'll go to number 7. Action item 7A, consider, discuss, act on a conditional use permit, CUP, request for automobile sales at Packerland Tire, 2660 Packerland Drive, parcel VA-228-8-508. Aaron.
All right, thank you. Sarah, could you share the screen with me so I could bring up a map? While working through that, just some background on the request. It is a conditional use permit for automobile sales at an existing repair shop, Packerland Tire and Auto. And I can share my screen and I'll bring it up here. The indicated property is in red. It is zoned to I-1 light industry as well as the property to the north, south, and west. Properties to the east are zoned to R3 multifamily development. Packerland Drive, of course, is a county trunk highway. Under our village code, automobile sales are a conditional use permit. He is requesting a total of 4 cars maximum for sale on the lot at any one time. In terms of our code, there are certain requirements that any vehicle sales location must have, including not having more than 1 vehicle display pad for every 100 feet of street frontage. The vehicle display pad may be elevated up to 2 feet above adjacent displays or grade level. have no racks that tilt vehicles any way to show the underside unless located in a showroom, not display vehicles or other similar items on top of a building, have no outdoor speaker or public address system that is audible off-site, display no other materials for sale between the principal structure and the street, and not test drive vehicles on residential streets. So again, those are rules, requirements subject to any vehicle sales location within the village of Ashwaubenon. Furthermore, the owner of the property, or the business, has indicated on the CUP application, and should be additional conditions for the property, should it be considered for approval, is that he have for sale no more than 4 vehicles at any one time. Locate the vehicles for sale around the northeast corner of the building as indicated in the application, and then not perform any vehicle body work such as industrial painting or salvage reconditioning. As this is a conditional use permit request, Plan Commission recommendation is required first, then it goes to a public hearing and village board action later in the month. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
So, Aaron, the problem that I have with this is there is another business in that area that came in for a CUP. They were only supposed to have 10 vehicles that were for sale, and that place has never followed. And I think that there was issues with the way it was written, but I'm having a hard time with this. This is right on Packerland. That other one is a little off Packerland. You know, the people that are across the street should not have to look at anything like that.
And I've made that clear to Mr. Claremont, the owner, that there have been issues with a similar location on Callaway Drive. That location, again, I apologize, it does predate my time here with the village, so I don't have all the details on it. But that was set up as an auto body shop that was going to be selling cars. I think the issue with that site is the issue with the auto body component of it, where they're basically unloading cars on the street. They're having chopped up cars in the yard of the building. Mr. Claremont has reiterated to me that this is not that type of business. This is to have 4 cars for sale that are fully operational and for sale to drive off the lot.
Are there any other businesses in this same building? Just
Not
because,
in this building, no.
no, I was just looking at the parking around, I mean, there's not a lot of parking. You know, that once you put, 4 cars for sale.
That was the only question that I had, was it's chewing up his parking. To be honest, there typically are 4 cars parked out there anyhow. So your question, Mary, I don't think people across the street would even recognize if they're for sale or not, because typically there's 4 cars. But my concern is now he's chewing up 4 spots, and that means now there's gonna be 8 cars sitting there. So the parking is one of my concerns, because I don't wanna see him spilling off his parking all of a sudden over to Las Magallas to the north or something like that. So that was my concern when I looked at it. I was concerned more about the parking than anything, because I would like to know his reasons. Why is he trying to, he's doing tire, all of, he's got his other work. He's basically like Matthews Tire down here. Why is he trying to sell cars now? I don't quite understand that out of this.
Yeah, that I don't have an answer to.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Mr. Claremont's out of the country right now.
Okay.
But I certainly can email him and try to get that information before village board.
Yeah, I would like to hear a little bit more why he's doing that now, out of that spot.
I don't want to be the negative one, but I don't think it's any of our business what he's doing with those cars, as long as it's permissible. You may see 4 parking spots taken up, but I'm looking at the configuration of the building. There's 2 sides to that lower part of the building, which I'm assuming could be the entrance to the office or whatever else he has there, but the garage is farther down the line, so he's parking cars on the side of that building also. So I really don't see a problem with it. If you look down the line, there's another used car lot, parking lot to the south, and that office is on the other side of that parking lot. So, you know, I really don't have a problem with it, at all. You know, he says he wants to park 4 cars. He may not have 4 cars for sale at a time, but he's allowed to have 4, so.
Right.
I know where you're talking about, Mary. You and I've got pictures of that. We go by there rather than go down Packerland. We circle around there all the time just to see how bad the junkyard is. And it is a mess. There's no doubt about it. We repave the road, and what do we get next? We got oil on the road. So that's another issue in myself that is a problem. I'll leave it at that. So in my opinion, this one is good to go.
Okay, does anybody want to make a recommendation, or?
I'll move to approve the auto sales at Packerland Tire and Auto.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit at Packerland, for Packerland Tire and Auto at parcel VA-228-8-508. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No.
So Aaron, I really do want to hear more about, you know, my biggest concern is it's 4 now. And then next week, all of a sudden, oh, now I got a 5th car, now I got a 6th car. I'm concerned about the businesses to the north there. Because even though, Gary, that looks like a nice alleyway through there, it isn't. Driving through there, there isn't as much room as what it appears, because I parked down there.
I will follow up with Mr. Claremont, get clarification on that for Village Board.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
so this will go to village board on the 26th?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, 7B, consider, discuss, act on a final planned unit development PUD request for a multi-use senior residential development at 460 Marina Lane, parcel VA-132-13. Aaron?
All right, thank you. Sarah, could you share the screen with me again, please? In the meantime, just for some background, Alliance Construction and Design, as the applicant for the owner, Baymar Holdings, has requested final planned unit development review for the proposed senior housing development at 460 Marina Lane. Let me bring this up here. There we go. As you can see on screen, this is the Residence Inn Hotel, Broadway Street, Marina Lane. The preliminary PUD was reviewed and approved by Village Board at the August Village Board meeting. Since this is a PUD, this is a 2-step process with a preliminary PUD and then a final PUD coming through the formal final review process. Should be noted that this property, it does have a voluntary party liability exemption for environmental concerns. So it does have closure from the DNR, and that is something that the applicant is aware of, and we'll be working closely with the DNR and environmental consultant to making sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed when it comes to any environmental concerns on the property throughout development. The property is currently vacant and zoned B3 community business. The proposed PUD would go over the top as an overlay district. You'll notice to the north is the National Railroad Museum / Terra and the Fox, again, Residence Inn. And then to the south is the OC and the Marina development. There's a public trail easement that does exist along the east side of the development, just to the west of the storm pond that you see here. Driveway access to the site is from Broadway and from Marina Lane, as indicated. In terms of development, the first phase, as indicated in red, is the CBRF, community-based residential facility. Phase 2 is the owner-occupied townhomes that you see here along the river. And phase 3 is the green L-shaped senior housing apartment development, as well as then the site amenity, pool, pickleball court, so on and so forth. Exterior materials of the buildings will meet our site plan design review requirements in terms of masonry requirements, siding, so on and so forth. And as mentioned, the preliminary PUD was recommended for approval with staff conditions by Village Board back in August. I'll just show a couple additional renderings for the property. Zoom out here. This is the CBRF. You can see here extensive masonry. Here's the apartment building, again 5-story with parking underground. And then these are the townhomes that you see here with attached garages. The amenity space, pickleball courts, pool, and just a different angle on that as well. I'll read through the recommended staff conditions for the record. As the apartment building is greater than 50 feet tall and with an airport zoning district C, the applicant must obtain an approved height permit from the Green Bay Austin Straubel Airport Director. All parking areas, landscape islands, and drive areas are to have curbing, either conventional curb pan or rolled. Screen any rooftop or ground mount mechanical units visible. Let me just bail out of here. You can see the screen. There we go. From the property boundaries or South Broadway or Marina Lane rights-of-way, maintain a minimum 3-foot masonry wainscot from finished grade where metal wall panels are to be used on the apartment building. Use of fully concealed fasteners for exterior wall panels. Include a sidewalk along the south side of the drive lane from South Broadway, a connection from the southerly CBRF sidewalk to the South Broadway sidewalk, and include a sidewalk along the west side of the drive lane from Marina Lane. Indicate the fenced courtyard on the site plan for the CBRF. Mentioned work with a qualified environmental consultant to remain in compliance with WDNR voluntary party liable exemption. Throughout utility taps, construction, and restoration. Then to catch-all, meet all requirements of the site plan review and all other applicable village ordinances. From engineering, submit the erosion control and drainage plans for review, contain pre- and post-construction sheet drain on the site for northerly and easterly parts of development per the stormwater plan for the property. Revise a grading plan to depict the rough grading of the trail easement on the west side of the storm pond to ready for trail installation. Coordinate the 2 water and 2 sanitary lateral taps with Al Farver per the note on the plans. Stormwater management, complete maintenance on stormwater pond, including trash, sediment, vegetation removal. Review the contours depicted on the southeast corner of the site to verify they match the existing contours. From public safety, relocate the private hydrant to interior parking lot island at northeast corner of the apartment building. Coordinate with APS to determine if the FDC on the apartment building could be relocated to the Marina Lane side of the building. And coordinate with APS on locations for fire fittings and key boxes. Forestry recommended approving the landscape plan as submitted. And finally, from Bike and Ped, include a detail consistent with the standards of the Association of Pedestrian and Bicycle Professionals for the bicycle parking at the northwest corner of the apartment building. Site Plan Review Committee did recommend approval of the final PUD with staff conditions at their meeting earlier today. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, the development team is also in the audience if you have any questions specific for them.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, I do. With the CBRF, is there planned, I don't know if we need to bring them up or not, fencing to go around that facility?
I don't know what fencing around the CBRF or how that's secured.
Okay.
Yep, if you wouldn't mind, please.
Good evening. My name is James Hunt. I am representing Baymar Holding, the owner of the property. Your question on fencing, sir? The CBRF is dedicated, the plan at the moment is dedicated to memory care. Memory care are residents who are suffering through dementia, Alzheimer's, and therefore they have to be, their egress, ingress has to be very controlled. So there is fencing around the rear of the building that will completely control access to that area or egress from that area. So yes, it is fenced. It has all of the necessary locks and points of, in other words, no resident can get out beyond that fencing. So there is fencing, and it is controlled, and it is only there for their safety and security.
But there's no fencing in the front of the building, and there will be doors in the front of the building.
The doors are strictly controlled with the locks, the fobs for control. The staff on the interior allow people from outside coming to visit. They have to go through that process. They cannot just walk in and out. And their egress to the building is also very, very carefully controlled because, for instance, the residents, they try and hide behind people and go out with them. So it's a very careful.
That was the reason why I was asking about the front doors too. You have the same problem there. I've had experience with this, so that's the reason why I'm asking the questions. I really do feel like there should be some sort of fenced area in the front to give another barrier. Just base, again, just base.
Double entrance locked area.
Yeah, I get
From a
that.
personal perspective, I went through that with my family as well.
I did as well.
And this particular case is probably one of the better ones, the ones we have in existence, one of the better controlled areas I've seen in.
So there are double doors on the front doors that are both key fobbed and locked?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, all right.
For instance, even when I visit there, I can't get in easily.
Do you have access to the building if I'm a visitor and know the code to get in?
There's no code, sir. You have to be allowed in.
Well, you have to be allowed in, okay. I was familiar with one where if you knew the code, you could punch it in and get in. But on going out, yeah, there was two exits, two doors, one before the other, and you couldn't, the other person couldn't get out with you. But, so there is no code. You
No
gotta
code.
be in,
It's-
you gotta be left in. Okay.
The staff on the inside have to allow you out. They also allow you in. You have to go through, ring the bell. And
Somebody greets you.
be identified, and then they let you in.
Okay.
Yeah, because the only reason why I bring that up is, especially in this particular case with the layout, you're gonna have a driveway zooming right through there to get back to your Phase 2 and Phase 3 properties. And somebody wanders out there, and I get that you got the double doors, but I do see a safety concern. I don't see that that's a reason why I'm saying, but I would be highly recommending that there's a fenced area when you come out those doors to be able to secure them so that they cannot get out into the roadway.
Our first location with the same operator in Appleton is within a very short distance from Wisconsin Drive and McCarthy Road, which is a very high traffic, high speed area. And there's never been an instance of anybody ever being put in any type of a position.
Well, I hear, but right here, you got the driveway going
Yeah.
right by it, so it's, yeah, the roads might be over there, but,
So, okay.
yeah, it's just would be a concern that I would have.
And Jay, if I could, one thing that we'd have to take a look at from a building code standpoint and emergency egress.
Yep.
Is making sure that, if there's a fence there, there's also emergency access to continue out.
Correct.
So that's, kind of another layer of things we'd have to take a look at if there was to be a fence there.
Agreed.
Sir, I was not trying to be argumentative in any sense, just to be.
No,
Assuring you-
and
assuring
don't think, I'm just bringing up from my experience and things like that,
our
I would be more comfortable if there was a fenced area to allow coming out the front of the building. I get you got the back secured, but I would also like to see that in the front. So. And where does the underground parking for the later phase for the apartment, where's the entrance for that?
I will bring that up here for you, Jay.
Okay, I couldn't quite find it. I was looking for it on here and I can't really see where that is.
The access to the apartment will be off of Marina Lane. Right here in the southeast corner of the building. There's a driveway that exits right onto Marina Lane, right there.
Oh, I just saw where it said, oh, there it is. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Any other
All I had.
questions?
No, it came in front of the site plan committee this afternoon. I think it's a great project. We didn't have any problem with it. No other questions, I'll move to approve
And I'll second it.
with staff conditions.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the final plan PUD request for a multi-senior residential development on parcel VA-132-13 with staff conditions. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Again, my thanks to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Number 8, items for next agenda. Do we have a next agenda so far?
Yes, at a minimum, we will have a comprehensive plan chapter to present. I would anticipate probably something else coming forward as well. If it's just a comp plan chapter, I won't bring up just that. We'll hold off. But I'm anticipating probably something else coming up as well.
Okay. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We're done.